Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guest, and our distinguished speaker for the session, Professor B. Shadrach. I welcome you, sir, and all of you. At the outset, I wish to share with you all you will be having three events today. We'll start off with the official launch of prestigious transformative program, followed by the webinar on AI and school libraries, possibility and challenges. Finally, wind up with the SLA India felicitation of two school library professionals who have been recently awarded with national level awards amidst your applause. After the event, we'll share a Google form with you all that needs to be filled to receive the certificate of attendance of this evening. Now, I invite the SLA President, Ms. Madhu Bhargava, to inaugurate the event and launch the program.
Thank you, Titiksha. Dear Dr. Shadrach, our distinguished guest and speaker of today, and SLA community, good evening and very warm welcome to this very special edition of events by the School Library Association India. I'm reminded of a story. A man was walking by the sandy beach in the wee hours of the day when he sees from far off a tiny boy, a tiny figure, bending and throwing something again and again. He got curious and approached to see a young boy picking up fish who were stranded on the sandy beach by broken waves. On looking up, he realized that there were hundreds and thousands of fish stranded on the beach. And he asked the boy, "What are you doing?" "I'm throwing them back. Otherwise, they will die at the sunrise." The man said, "What's the point? What difference will you make by throwing back a few? I can see they are all over the beach." The boy still picked up one starfish and throwing it back said, "It will make a difference to this one." Ladies and gentlemen, according to Indian government's latest annual UDISC report, there are 15 lakh school libraries. July 27, 2023, in an article, Share of Schools with a Library in Rural India by Usage 2010 to 22, published on Statista by an educational research expert, Manya Rathore said, according to the survey conducted in 22, around 24% of schools in rural India had a library where books were being used by students. Furthermore, 21.7% in the respondents stated that there were no libraries in the rural area. From 1953 to 23, Government of India, Ministry of Education has appointed numerous commissions to establish the school libraries and improve the condition. Still, there are almost 21.9% schools in rural areas without any library. No doubt, some states like Andhra Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Kerala, Gujarat, and Karnataka are paying heed to the concept of libraries in schools. Notwithstanding the pathetic situation of northeastern states, it cannot be ignored where the schools holding a library hardly exist. We are a very young school library association with fewer resources, mainly from memberships, but we are beginning to make a difference, at least to some, from today. We are launching a book grant program where we will offer a small amount, 25,000 rupees worth books to a library which is very deserving and possibly in a rural area or which doesn't have resources to withstand its own educational program and the learning needs of the students. So that's the program, that's a special edition that we are launching today. And please spread a word. There is a Google form and also a poster and a flyer, and reach out to schools for application. We are happy to give this grant to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhu ma'am. Please check the SLA website for more details about the book initiative. As we embark on a journey into the future of education and information management amidst the revolution and in technology and innovation, we are here to explore the profound impact of artificial intelligence in the domain of school librarianship. In an era where information is abundant and rapidly evolving, our school librarians play a pivotal role in nurturing the intellectual curiosity of our students. The integration of generation the integration of generative AI into the library landscape is a strategic move to adapt and enhance the learning experience for our students and empower our librarian with the cutting edge tool. AI has potential to transform the way we organize, access, and utilize information. Imagine a library where resources are not just cataloged but also dynamically curated based on individual learning style and preferences. Picture a space where AI algorithm assist our librarians to recommendation books, resources tailored to unique interest of each student. This is the exciting future we are embracing today. As we delve into the topic, we are privileged to have Professor B. Shadrach with us, who is pioneer in the field of AI and education. His insight and expertise will undoubtedly shed light uncover with the rich potential of the transformative possibility that AI brings to our school libraries. Now, I would like to invite Miss Nina to welcome and introduce Professor B. Shadrach, please. Nina, over
Thank
to
you,
you.
Titiksha.
Yes.
As we eagerly anticipate the insights that Professor Shadrach will share with us today, let's express our sincere gratitude for his commitment to advancing education through innovative technologies. His expertise promises to illuminate the possibilities and considerations associated with integrating AI into the heart of our learning environments, the school library. On behalf of SLA India, President Ms. Madhu Bhargava, General Secretary Mr. S.L. Faisal, without further ado, please join me in extending a warm welcome to Professor B. Shadrach. Thank you for gracing us with your presence and sharing your valuable insights on this exciting journey into the future of school libraries. Professor B. Shadrach has been a consultant to UNESCO, UNIVOC for building innovation and learning in Tibet program with support from the German Federal Institute for Vocational Education and Training and the German Federal Ministry of Education and Research. As the global head telecenter.org academy in 2009, he developed a unique training ecosystem for equipping grassroots level knowledge workers. After successfully establishing the Global Telecenter.org Foundation in Manila in 2010, with support from the ITUI in 2011, he launched the worldwide Telecenter Women Digital Literacy Campaign, which successfully trained over 1 million women in digital entrepreneurship. During his 37-year-long professional life, Dr. Shadrach has also consulted for FCDO UK, ITU Geneva, ADB the Philippines, UNDP Iraq, Practical Action UK, the Open University UK, Article 19 UK, and the ICT Agency of Sri Lanka. He earned his PhD in Information Science as a faculty student from Loughborough University, UK. He was awarded an honorary professorship by Sir Padampat Singhania University, India in November 2022. He is currently serving at the Commonwealth Educational Media Centre for Asia as its director. SEMCA is a regional center of Commonwealth of Learning, Canada, and is an intergovernmental organization in the status of United Nations agencies, recognized by the Indian government that hosts the center in New Delhi. In this position, he oversees programs that enhance quality learning and access to education and skill development in Asia. He is also identified as an expert by the Global Partnership of Artificial Intelligence in work programs related to the future of work and AI in education. So I welcome you, sir, and over to you. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you for the introduction and for inviting me. Um, how do I change the screen? Do I go to the presentation mode and do this? Are you able to see my
Uh,
presentation?
yes, sir, it's
We
visible.
can see, just you need to put the presentation mode
So if
down.
I,
Yeah.
is this fine now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. So my gratitude to Darshana Gopinath who invited me to this event as a speaker. I understand that she has a role in identifying speakers and organizing events of this sort. Thank you, Darshana, for reaching out and for accommodating my request. We wanted to have this webinar earlier on, but the World Cup came on the way. So we had to move it to another day. My gratitude to Ms. Madhu Bhargava, Hina Girish, and all the governing council members of the SLA, and more importantly, the participants who come out, who have taken their time and come and joined us today. I'm very pleased to learn about the book grant program. In spite of your very limited resources, you still have a larger heart. And that shows the ethos of the School Library Association. Congratulations on the grant that you launched. I'm sure there will be a lot of people who would like to come forward and provide funds for you to um, promote this idea in tens and thousands of villages in our country. So thank you, and this is really commendable. Um, Before I go to my presentation, I wanted to say a few words about the Commonwealth of Learning, whose regional center in Delhi I am managing at this point in time. Commonwealth of Learning is an intergovernmental organization that helps governments and educational institutions, particularly from school to the tertiary level, the public institutions, to expand the scale and quality of learning through open distance technology enabled digital flexible blended learning methods. We promote quite a few ideas, policies, and programs largely associated with the institutions that are delivering education and skill development in our country. In addition to our country, 55 other Commonwealth countries around the world. So we do work with schools, we work with universities, we work with university associations, we work with sector skill councils, and so on. So that's our work, and we we encourage our staff members in institutions such as the schools that you are representing to embrace open distance technology enabled learning practices, but also promote open education resources and technology enabled learning practices in our settings. Thank you. And I've been asked to speak about the relevance of AI in schools. Uh, Although I'm not going to touch too much upon the um, current, experiments with AI at the school level, because these are changing day by day, and for that matter, consciously, not many schools are integrating AI that effectively, but for a handful of schools. So I'm going to really touch upon the larger aspects of AI to basically give you a quick purview of where we are and what we are likely to witness in the coming days. So I'll talk about some of the evolution of AI and the theoretical foundation and so on. So if it is a bit boring, anytime you raise your hand so that I can skip those slides and move on to the next stage. But I really wanted to mention that AI is not new, although we may think that artificial intelligence is something here today, but this has been there for many decades. In fact, since the 1950s, when actually Alan Turing, Turing test is something that we may be familiar with, which is the machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior. So Turing published his paper called Computing Machinery and Intelligence. This is when the idea of AI initiated in 1950, followed by the research project on AI. Dartmouth. Dartmouth is the first place where the summer research project was initiated in the field of AI. And by 1965, John McCarthy published a paper in which he introduced, some of us may remember, Lisp program language, which is still used in today's AI research. So you can see that 1965 we had Lisp already, and ELIZA computer, which is also something that might ring the bell for some of us, in 1966, actually stimulated human conversation. But the second era was a kind of a ups and downs era, what they call the AI winter. AI winter is a term denoted for some sort of a decline of AI. So followed by the ELIZA experiment, where they tried to create a machine translation, which failed actually. So what they did in 1970, they tried to abandon the AI research program, which started off in 1956. But in 1971, the U.S. Defense Department, took up the speech understanding research at Carnegie Mellon. And again, there was a kind of a frustration, so they cut back on the academic AI research funding. At the same time in the UK, the Lighthill report, James Lighthill was a kind of an educationist who came out and provided a very pessimistic report on AI. And he said this will never work. So basically, a large amount of funding in the UK was also stopped. But while all these ambitious programs stopped, you may recall that the expert system, which many of us as librarians are familiar with. The first expert system came about called MySyn, which was actually the expert system for um, uh, uh, detecting infectious diseases related information. So um, Edward Shortcliffe, he came up with this expert system, which basically gave a kind of a new opportunity. Then Lisp, um, Lisp machine, then used photon language, which was perceived to have some capabilities of AI. And that's when we started to see, this was in 1987. And by 1990, we had the fifth generation computer. And there was also at the same time, although MySyn was a successful experiment by Edward Shortcliffe, the expert system, there was again a resistance. So you can see, between 1970 and 1990, They were pessimists as well as optimists. But in the third era, what we call the 1990 to 2010, we have seen a lot of surgeons. Deep Blue, where Deep Blue computer defeats Gary Kasparov in a chess match. First match, this Deep Blue lost. So Gary Kasparov thought, he could again win in the second round. But by then, this IBM machine went out and, it learned on its own. When I say went out, it didn't go out anywhere, but it looked at the machine, the data that was available with it itself, and started learning. And it, in fact, defeated Gary Kasparov. That's when, the kind of promise for AI was researched. Then you had ImageNet, which was the large scale visual recognition challenge that was initiated at the same time. So a lot of machine learning algorithms came into play. But essentially, only from 2010 onwards, we saw a lot of movements, particularly with the search engines that started to use AlexNet, AlphaGo. All these are kind of Google DeepMind, which came about during this era. And 2020 was the watershed moment when ChatGPT was introduced by OpenAI. And they released the third version, GPT-3. And then 2020 onwards, now 22 onwards, we see a lot of movements around generative AI, which we call. So I wanted to present this, the history, because for you to have a view that this is not new, but it is evolving. But all of a sudden, there is a surge. That's something that we wanted to understand. So in a way, if you look at the AI movement, the initial movement was very reactive, because the if you look at the 1950s and all, the computers could only respond to the environment but cannot take any proactive action. Whereas in the limited memory AI era, in the paradigm, they could also reason it out. They can make decision on the basis of the past events. So they had a memory and analyze the memory, and they started to basically provide reasoning for, and also provide reasoning for the future, something like weather monitors and temperatures and so on, forecast and so on. But the third era, the theory of mind AI, that generation of algorithms are actually with they can understand the other agents, not only the information held within their servers. They can go to other servers, they can go to other agencies, and use the information that's available to make decisions. So in a way, it's also intranet and internet and intranet combined was the kind of a theory of mind AI generation. Now we are in the early stages of the self-awareness AI, where the AI understands that it exists. Nobody has to tell artificial intelligence that there is such a phenomenon exists. In other words, machine understands that machine exists, and it can use the existing information and learn and make decisions. But what is likely to come, and again, the first stages of general intelligence AI has come into play, is where the AI is likely to be as intelligent as a human being, can perform various tasks of human beings. In some cases, perform the task many, many, many times efficiently and effectively. In some cases, it can't. So we are in a kind of a situation where AI, artificial intelligence, and human intelligence will collide. And perhaps in our own lifetime, I'm reaching 60, but in the next 20 years, if I'm alive, I would be in a position to see the progress in the fourth and the fifth generation, the stages, what we call self-awareness AI and general intelligence AI, proliferate and do wonders. Now, how this AI works? Basically, AI is based on logic. It's a study of the theoretical foundation of AI is basically study of reasoning and inferences. It draws inferences on the basis of the available information. It studies, reasons out, and comes up with inferences. That's the logical part of the theoretical foundation of AI. But also, we will look into it when we talk about generative AI. It talks about it is founded on probability. It actually studies the chance of uncertainty and certainty, and provides that foundation so that decisions could be made on probability theory. Then the foundation is also machine learning, not just a logical reasoning, inferences, and probability theory, but it's also founded in machine learning, fundamentals, and also data mining. Because unless you have data, um, artificial intelligence cannot function. It is all founded in data mining. And there is a caveat here: when there is bad data, AI would be bad. So there is every reason for everyone to ensure that AI is not taking us to jeopardy. It takes us to the right path, which means we need clean data, good data, and we will also talk about it when it comes to responsible AI kind of um, notions that are coming about. But having said the evolution, the theory, the foundation, and the various stages, today as we speak, AI is impacting every stream, every sector, every geography, and everyone's day to day life, ranging from international security to digital identity to mobility to civic participation to influencing elections, to the generic things that we know, that AI can impact manufacturing, AI can impact mining, AI can impact supply chains, retails, marketing, and so on. What is visible is what we see and what we experience today, but there are a number of invisible applications that are in play that the world is concerned about. And that's why AI is now talked about in the point of view of not just automating and augmenting, but also the impact on lives and livelihoods and geographies and territories and sovereignty and so on, governance, leadership, global risks, and so on. So it's a larger canvas. Now, as a system, it's all rule based. Basically, AI is as kind of a simple type of AI is rule based. But we also mentioned about the expert system which came about. But as it progressed, it started to actually mimic or imitate a human brain, the neural network, and the kind of interconnected nodes in the human brain is something that the machine is now likely to imitate. And now, how does it imitate? Basically, through the algorithms and the process of the natural selection to evolve solutions to problems is something that the computer scientists and others basically use. So the algorithms are something like, if you think about finding a new drug, you iterate or you conduct experimentations, try it on first animals, then so you iterate your invention. The same fundamentals apply for AI, as they go on iterating and reiterating and constantly evolving. So the conceptual framework is constantly evolving as we speak. But when it comes to implementation, we can all understand. As librarians, we can easily understand how AI projects and programs are implemented. Basically, just because AI is there, we do not want to go and solve the problem. It's something like I have a hammer and a nail. I want to go and put the nail here and there. That's not the idea. The first and foremost, when it comes to implementation, is to define the problem. What is the problem that we cannot solve as human beings that needs to be solved with AI, and what are we trying to achieve? And accordingly, goals are set. Then AI programs look for particular data, and I mentioned about clean data and good data and bad data. So we need to actually gather data, which is very, very fundamental for us to train the AI system. So, once you have a handful of data, and you can take any domain. It could be a, uh, library usage system to any large data sets that you might have. Then you come up with algorithms and train the AI bot and the AI system in a way that you basically make it augmenting and automating in its own right, and then you deploy. That's how, in many companies, AI is deployed. Basically, the reason why many companies have started to deploy AI as a solution, or even sectors and governments and others have started to deploy, is not to actually replace human force or do something very dramatic. I think the fundamental objective that people have today is to improve efficiency and increase accuracy, and also find new ways to solving problems. That's the reason why AI is here. Now, when it comes to the latest development, there has been a mainstream attention on AI since November 2022 with ChatGPT 4, which can produce text, images, and audio as well. And you are familiar with the OpenAI, Bing Chat, Google Bard, but there are many, many other companies that are using AI today and have come out as AI companies. And now generative AI is a developer tool. It's not just a solution, but it's so you are using generative AI to actually generate software and programs. Now, what the World Economic Forum, McKinsey, and others say, annually, AI, generative AI, has the potential to add $2 to $4 trillion to the economy, which means the global GDP can easily rise by 7%. And this is phenomenal. If India is growing by, say, 4%, 5%, if countries like India, China, United States, European Union, others take up AI seriously, they can actually multiply their GDP many a times, but in a responsible manner, because it's likely to impact work and workers, no doubt. So the potential of AI is not just economics, but it's also about lives and livelihoods. So one will have to be really agile and aware of it. Now let's think about how generative AI relates with us, the knowledge workers, the librarians and the knowledge workers who deal with knowledge all the time. Now we are familiar with some of the use cases of AI. Web searches use AI from for many, many years. We are familiar with fraud detection, say something like our credit card, safety and security and so on, where AI is applied. And earlier in the introduction, I think Tetiskar, somebody mentioned about the recommender system, which we are all familiar with. So we are familiar with some of the use cases. But when it comes to the tools, you would get to hear about it in the coming years. Something like supervised learning tools, generative AI tools, unsupervised learning tools, reinforcement learning tools, and all that. But there is a lot of research going on in supervised learning tools and generative AI tools as we speak. And at this point in time, we know that generative AI can generate text, and it generates text on repeated prediction with a trillion number of words. It is able to predict in a very systematic manner what would be the next word. That's how the large language models work. by repeated prediction and getting it right, and also getting the context right. Now, for as an example, let us take the example of if you ask a AI system, what is the capital of India? It could say New Delhi, it could say Mumbai, it could say Kolkata. Now, if you try to probe it, that you want to say that you want the political capital of India, then it would say New Delhi. If you want to say, the so-called commercial capital of India, it may say Mumbai. And if you want to say cultural capital, it may say Thiruvananthapuram or Kolkata or Chennai. So, you know, uh, AI also learns because there is so much of information available that it goes and learns word by word and predicts the word and coins. That's the beauty of the system that is at play. Now, again, let's look at how it impacts us. From the known use cases, AI can be a writing partner. Now, we do a lot of abstracting service in mostly in scientific and technology libraries. We read a particular paper and provide an abstract. Now, AI can be a writing partner. We do a lot of advisory services, what we call the current advisory services. Again, AI could be a good ally to us in the provision of advisory services. We do provide a lot of reference services by asking questions, probing again and again the inquirer. Basically, we are synthesizing in our mind as to what this person is looking for, then looking at the available information and knowledge base that we have. So, the synthesis service could also be carried out by AI, where we could have AI as a partner. Now, when it comes to AI, we should understand that it's a general purpose tool. Something like electricity. When electricity was invented, they didn't invent just to power your homes with tube lights. They also wanted to run a motor. They also wanted to run many other things. So similarly, when it comes to, but in fact, electricity has a limited role. But when it comes to AI, it could be a kind of a general purpose tool, can be applicable at every stage. It is not confined to a particular subject. It can be deployed. It can be deployed on the web. It can also be deployed as a standalone software which can run on your system. So there's a lot of web-based tools available for AI and software-based tools also available on AI. Now, as librarians, we are aware that all these are available, but seldom I think, so far in many of our cases, have brainstormed with the AI. Some of us do, no doubt. If we want to present a paper, or if I want to present this one lecture to you, webinar, I could brainstorm with AI. I've been asked by the SLA to deliver a lecture on AI for school libraries. What should I say? And AI can come up with some ideas. We can also use, as I mentioned, AI as a writing partner. Now we can also use AI as a reading partner. Now, this is where there will be a greater impact. If we are unable to read, say, 1,000 published papers, we can give this job to AI, asking the AI system to read those 1,000 papers and provide abstract for each of the 1,000 papers, and also then synthesize the 1,000 papers into meaningful paragraphs. And we can also say to AI that, okay, I want you to provide the synthesized summary in 1,000 words. So 1,000 papers in 1,000 words is something that phenomenally it could do. Now, again, when you iterate and reiterate, you can get it right, in the sense that the 1,000 worded, 1,000 sentence summary is something that which actually depicts the 1,000 different papers in a very systematic manner. Now, today we are also using AI for chatting purposes. Now, chatbot is a good example that a lot of us are familiar with. Now, I want to, kind of look at the impact of AI in the larger canvas, because as librarians, our mainstay is to support teaching, learning, and evaluation. That's our main work, and that's where we are leaders. We provide support to our schools in the teaching paradigm, to the students in the learning paradigm, and also the teachers in their learning paradigm. But in the overall scheme of things, we also lend our hand in evaluation, so that people can be certified, and they can be uh, kind of encouraged to pursue a path, and select a career path, and select a kind of a professional uh, pathway. So this is the role largely of librarians, and we do a lot of things. Of course, we encourage children to read, write, speak. Quite a lot of things that we do. So now, as knowledge workers who are involved in teaching, learning, and evaluation, how do we now see AI? Now, I mentioned that AI can write, read, create images, and chat with you. Now, if a simple example, there could be 200 other examples. Now, you could use AI to invite volunteers to say, if you're recruiting volunteers, or if you're recruiting staff members, you can ask AI to write an advertisement for you, because you are interested in recruiting volunteers. You can ask AI to translate text. So if you have a text in a particular language, you want it to be translated, you could ask the system to do. You can also use the system to proofread and copyright, which very well some of the AI systems are trained to do. And as I mentioned, we can ask AI to do literature review. Now, it is important that when we expose all this to our teachers and students, they would like to take a shortcut method of skipping things and asking AI to produce. But there are AI algorithms written also to detect plagiarism and generated text that comes out. So I think we need to ensure that all these challenges, opportunities, and the anomalies are also discussed and explained to people. Now, as librarians, we can do transcripting. Now, as I speak, my speech can be transcripted, but also translated and also ported. So, for example, I am speaking now in English. So, if some of you are from Kerala, and if my today webinar has to be translated in Malayalam, but also delivered in Malayalam, it is possible. So it can, AI can mimic me. We can also use the writing and reading functions of AI to basically ask uh, AI to do customer feedback. Like if during the year end, 2000 students who are studying in a school, or the parents are asked to give feedback, you can deploy the AI algorithms to basically analyze the feedback and give you a summary of that. You can also use AI in the library setting for your reputation monitoring, or reputation monitoring of a particular staff who may be a problematic staff, or somebody who is really, really a star staff. So to give the star rating, you could use AI. Now, AI also has chatting and image generation function, as I mentioned earlier. So chatbots triggers, say, if you want your students or your clientele to uncheck their books borrowed, when you want them to return the books, a chatbot can be triggered, initiated to trigger that reminders that could be sent to people, which is something that, in the COVID times, we have seen chatbots basically triggering the alert messages to us through the system, the COVID system, which was built by our government. Now, AI can also manage parallel conversations. Now, it would be difficult for human beings to follow four different conversations happening at the same place, but machines can follow it. Now we can also bring in the human in the loop of for moderation. Basically, you know, when it comes to all this, we cannot take for granted that AI would do a good job. We need to always have that human intelligence overriding things in order for us to ensure that there is no misinterpretation and misrepresentation of data. That's where the human intervention is. There is a kind of a job profile that is coming up, which is the prompt engineer job profile. We used to know about software engineers, we used to know about computer engineer or IT infrastructure engineer and so on. But there are machine learning engineering jobs coming up. Prompt engineering jobs are also coming up. So there will be a lot of people who would be hired to actually prompt the machines and train the machines and prompt it so that constantly they are able to do a good job. Now, when it comes to image generation, there are only two systems at this point in time involved. What they call the multimodal models, where text, image, and expressions are all combined, using a kind of a diffusion theory, where images are created on the basis of diffusion. And if you Google, how Bard is creating images or Bing is creating images for you, you would get to learn about how in four stages, if you want an apple to appear from nowhere, using diffusion models, you can create images as well today. Now, straight away coming to the library tasks, customer service on phone, customer service on chat, check status of book reservation, recording customer interaction, recording complaints and synthesizing some of these functions. I have not actually enumerated all the functions, but these are all low-hanging fruits that one can try and figure out what could be automated and what could be augmented. Now, again, to sum up, the limited function of AI that are tried out in various libraries are basically um, the low-hanging fruits, dealing with customers, dealing with the available data, analyzing the data, and presenting it in a cohesive, nice manner. So now what I would like you to think about is when it comes to your own jobs. So you walk into a library on a given day at whatever 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and you walk out of the library at 3:45 or 4 o'clock. So if you consider all the things that you do, perhaps you could identify the tasks, because AI will not actually replace jobs. AI can replace tasks that you are undertaking. So don't worry, the librarian's job will not disappear, but some of the tasks that you undertake can be performed together with AI or more efficiently with the AI deployed in your system. So you need to think about which are the tasks that you are performing today are likely to be impacted by AI. And maybe this could be something that you could think post this webinar and consider. Then you need to think about the feasibility of using AI as a solution for each of those tasks, and what could be the high percentage of chances that the entire task can be automated, or if the task needs to be augmented with AI so that you can continue to perform the task without actually automating the task. So you need to think about the technical feasibility and the business value of the whole thing, not just from the cost saving point of view. You need to also think about a workflow. How do I actually change the workflow? And this is what many companies are now thinking. Companies may be thinking initially to save cost, but as a result, what they really come up with a plan is the change of the workflow model, which basically helps them to grow revenue. So the whole AI paradigm is all about not so much about saving costs. You may invest more, but also earn multifold. So even in your library setting, all these principles might apply in order for you to be efficient, but also grow the potential of your service, potential scope of your service, and so on. So to sum up, as of today, we see AI, particularly in the hands of the librarians, in the education industry, in terms of enabling our learners, the students, towards personalized learning. So their learning style, their learning approaches, and the learning paradigm can be understood and catered to. And this is something that many teachers try to do in a using their human intelligence. But if AI systems are in place, there are much more opportunities for us to analyze the learning styles, learning patterns of individual students, and make learning very personalized. We can, as I mentioned, think about task automation, which is happening in many libraries. Smart content creation, which is something that we have spoken about. We can assist our teachers and lecturers in our institutions to create content and come up with adaptable access solutions. We can also look at the classroom vulnerabilities, such as, if there are special children or children who are highly gifted, slow learners, how do we determine the vulnerability of some automated augmented system impacting their learning, because we want to ensure that nobody is left behind. And AI can be deployed in our settings, which are happening largely in the UK and US libraries today at schools, to look at map the skills and competencies as children hone these. And libraries are the best places where these are done, in terms of based on their interest, their knowledge, their current exposure. Constantly the competency mapping and skills profiling is done. So skills gaps are identified, and librarians are able to help these children with addressing those gaps. Now, some of these are very familiar to us. Data-based feedback, which can be analyzed. 24/7 assistance can be provided. Conversational AI can be deployed in terms of addressing some of the individual needs of the students who would like not like who would not like to converse with in person with the librarian, but maybe they would like to converse anonymously with a conversational AI. So we have also seen librarians initiating some of the initiatives to assist teachers in deploying AI for examination, assessment of assignments, and also providing well informed, analyzed reports back to the students on the basis of the rubrics that you provide to the students for assessment. So, for instance, if you are writing somebody to do a comprehension, if the student is providing, there are hundreds of assignments, you can deploy an AI bot to analyze those comprehensions and come up with a reasoning and improvisation techniques that could be made available, so that instead of the teacher doing it 100 times to 100 students, the system can individually provide. So there are things that are happening as we speak, and the impact of AI, as I mentioned earlier, can grow 7% of GDP globally, and $2 to $4 trillion annually. But as you can see, generative AI has the potential to impact knowledge workers the most. In fact, we are likely to be impacted, not that our jobs are going away, but our tasks, our work, that the tasks that we carry out will transform itself in the future. As I was narrating earlier, the abstracting service to bibliographical services to the translation services to whatnot. So, and also assistance to our teaching and learning paradigm in terms of introducing newer pedagogies, understanding learners, and introducing adaptive learning, personalized learning techniques, and others through the use of AI and so on. So, in the list, you can see that the least affected are the ones um, so you have educators and workforce training is likely to be impacted the most, and on the basis of the functions, you have certain high impact billion-dollar functions highlighted in the slide, so you can take a look at it. Now, the prediction, as you can see, still it's North America dominated. If it comes to Asia Pacific, it's largely China. So you have, on the basis of the region, global AI market is becoming huge as we speak. Last year it was 144 million dollars, but it's going to be many many billions, 40 odd billions in a very quick succession. 2020 onwards, you can see the surge of AI money spent in AI in the education market. It's phenomenal. So to close, I would like to say Sugata Mitra, who experimented with this hole in the wall program in Kalkaji in Delhi, who is now promoting Soul as a concept, says artificial intelligence is the future of education. Sal Khan, who started the Khan Academy and has actually initiated Khan Me Go as a personalized AI tutor for every person who joins Khan Academy, says AI has the potential to revolutionize education by providing personalized learning experiences. So the word to note is personalized learning experiences. And Andrew Nag, who is the the brain behind Coursera and deep learning and others, he says AI can help prepare students for the jobs of the future by teaching them skills that they need to be successful. So what we teach in schools is subjects. What we can do with the help of AI is teach skills, map skills, and identify gaps and prepare the 21st century knowledge based citizens of tomorrow. The children who come into our schools the first 15 to 17 years of their life, when they are with us, we can really shape up and we can produce global citizens as they work out. So, and also bring education to the doorsteps, actually with the difference, not through drones as a delivery, but something that is constant, lifelong. Thank you so much.
Now, Nina, do you have any questions? Please check and share with us.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, sir, for such an insightful session. And Madhu ma'am has a question that using a strategy to improve reading skills creates data for me representing every student, but I'm not able to use it efficiently. How could AI help me?
Okay, so I'm sorry, I didn't quite very well get the question. So is
Uh,
there a chat
yeah, ma'am.
function that I can
Okay.
read?
Yeah.
Could I speak?
Yes, please. Yeah, using a
Yeah.
strategy to improve reading skills
Yeah.
creates data for me representing every student,
Yeah.
but I'm not able to use it efficiently. How could AI help me?
Yeah. I mean to say that I teach reading and research skills specifically based on create my own curriculum. I use various strategies. Students come to me, those who already have some skill. Now you hold their hands and make them improve that skill, that is reading. So you use various strategy. For example, we use visual pacer. Okay, so I'm teaching. So while I'm doing that, I capture data with the help of that how many lines a student has read in certain time. Okay, I capture that data. It comes to me. I can. I'm not able to evaluate it to go further. I'm stuck there. I got the data.
Hmm.
how I can be helped. So, like this, there are various strategy. For example, another strategy: use audio while reading to improve reading skill. Say this is one strategy if you use. So there are a variety of students who are like working with the same strategy. I do get data. Sometimes it's not a very good data, but it is with me. We are capturing. I'm not able to go further with it. That's my problem. And I am a mentor now at the moment to 200 schools, Aga Khan schools, where they are very keen to adopt these strategies. So, if this is a real insight to me, this session of yours has really opened my eyes, and I'm hungry for more. So, how AI could help me?
Um, yeah, so at this point in time, the public tools available in the public domain, or the subscription based chat gpt, where you can subscribe to OpenAI by paying $20 or something, which could enable you to develop short applications, AI applications that you could deploy for some of these challenges that you are talking about. So that's the currently, if you want to use the existing chat gpt function to write codes and short programs to basically analyze, augment, and automate some of your functions that you are carrying out, whether it's analysis of the reading capability, or the multimodal listening, as well as reading, as well as thinking capabilities. If these are the challenges that you're facing, it is possible today to use basically implement a kind of what they call the not large language model, but the um, a limited data based language model, which could be deployed. And I think what you need to do is to um, work with computer, those who have machine learning and AI background, to define your problem and gathering data in a manner that the problem that you are defining here is, how do I analyze, how do I help to improvise my students' ability to read well and synthesize well. So we need to gather data on the basis of certain parameters that we can come up with. And then that's where the AI colleagues who have some AI algorithm background, to help you choose the right algorithm with the help of ChatGPT itself, where you can choose the right algorithm and train that algorithm to test your system. So it can be taken as a small project going forward by one of the school librarians, and you could try this out.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, at the moment I'm see, everybody thinks it's a very nice thing I'm doing, but I know that I could do better. I could like segregate students based on their skills and you know teach them separately. Instead, right now everybody's together, and in a class of 25 you really don't have that much time. You need to teach the same thing, and then maybe you capture data, but the optimum utilization of the same is not happening. But it's a good idea. Maybe I can speak with I'll have to find out. Maybe I come back to you.
There are certain
Yeah.
tools that are already available, like in interest inventory or skills
Okay.
profilers.
Mm-hmm.
um, you may be familiar with the Bhatia test, Bhatia battery test, and others that may have been taught during the beard days. So there are a number of
We
uh,
do
you
chem
know
testing. That is
yeah.
Cambridge University. We do chem testing, but that is not, that may be helpful to send students or the students with learning disabilities. We are able to segregate. But when the cohort comes to you together, then it's very difficult to, actually go in a very logical manner, if you talk that term. Anyways, thank you. I will not take much time. I'll get in touch with you.
No, just a point to mention. My organization is now actually developing a courseware aimed at
Okay.
teachers to detect special learning disabilities in children, and also develop strategies to accommodate. In addition, the courseware would also enable them to identify the right digital tools that are available at their
Mhm.
disposal to basically embrace children with special learning disabilities. And
Mhm.
we are starting with some of this dyslexic and other issues.
Okay.
But this, 12-hour course that we are producing would
Mhm.
give us basically the ability to detect, then develop strategies to accommodate, then also
Mhm.
deploy certain pedagogies that would be applicable to the students who need to be mainstream, but
Mhm.
also expose one to the availability of digital tools. So
Mhm.
these are the things that we need to be doing going forward for
Mhm.
not just for special learning disabilities. There are
Yeah.
21 disabilities notified
Yeah.
in our
Right.
country, so we need to target those. And what do you do with brilliant students? Those ones, gifted students, need a different orientation.
Yeah.
So how do we use the existing AI tools and techniques that we can put in the hands of the teacher?
Mhm.
And this is where many librarians play an important role in various countries. But in Canada, in the US, the library consortium come together and um, work with the systems engineers, AI engineers, and solve problems. So this is what I find to be transdisciplinary
Yeah.
research led by librarians that are aimed at solving problems. It's exactly the problem, the typical problems of the kind that you mentioned, explain.
Yeah. Thank you so very much. But I think there are more questions.
Yeah, Darshana has a question. Darshana, you'll be asking? Okay. A secure and decentralized learning system. Could you elaborate on this?
So a secure and decentralized learning system. Well, I don't know what exactly is meant. When it comes to the typical meaning of decentralized learning system is putting the learning at the hands of children, and giving them the ability to basically develop strategies and skills to self learn. Now, one way of centralized system is now looking at the curriculum that's basically developed at the center, um, which is followed by millions of teachers, and the learning happens as per the prescription. But in you know I don't know what exactly you mean, Darshana, but I understand decentralized learning from an individual's point of view is to provide the person with the opportunity to not only access and audit the prescribed or the recommended text, but also enable that person to um, go explore what they call the adaptive learning and action oriented learning and so on. But I'm not aware if you are asking a very technical question here.
No, sir, it was mentioned in one of the last slides that AI replaces the task of librarians or educators. In that one point was secure and decentralization, decentralized learning system. So that was
Okay,
what
so
AI can.
Okay, so again, it's a kind of a technology solution. Basically, AI. I didn't touch upon the responsible AI part at all because I although mentioned about bad data can lead to bad solutions, good data can lead to good solution. But there is a moment, if you recall, Elon Musk and even UNESCO put out a call for moratorium on AI research. Basically, they were concerned about the whole issue of data privacy and misinformation and fake news and disinformation and all that. So there is a major concern amongst communities, where AI can be used for creating problems, creating fact narrations, and so on. Now, AI itself would need to come up with solution. Now, the solution for problems created by AI is also to be solved by the system in itself, which is where the responsible AI, ethical AI, transparent AI, secured AI, and the AI that secures your privacy is quite important. Now, educationists are really, really concerned about it, because at the end of the day, um, not the industries are not as much worried. Industries are driven by profits. Industries are interested in expanding their customer base, to expanding the profit base and whatnot. But as educators who are preparing for the future, the AI enabled learners, and even in the national education policy, this is enshrined very, very well, that Indian school system will need to prepare students for tomorrow's AI based society. So now, very many educationists and education institutions and the system itself is looking at the technological solution for secure and decentralized learning environment, and also anonymized learning environment. If some people, you had this issue crop up when AIDS patients, when they want to interact, or a particular, if certain people would want to conceal their identity but still want to be in a learning paradigm, how do we create a safe learning environment for them to do this? Or if you want to cohorts to learn together and excel, like the ones that Ms. Bhargava mentioned, if there are certain cohorts that would like to come together and learn and collaborate and co-learn. So there are quite a lot of such systems available, and this AI tutor, personalized tutor itself, is a kind of a personalized approach to enable every student to basically have a buddy, AI buddy, who would be able to tell, constantly interact and tell how to basically progress to the next stage.
Yeah, now we have
Analysis
echoed
of
from.
assessment, how
Yes.
AI, how authentic it is. Now, I had a look at the system used in the Singapore Metropolitan University, where about 2000 assignments were assessed by this AI system called Gyan AI. So if you Google Gyan AI, you would get some information about Gyan AI. And they have deployed this in Northeastern University in the US, and a couple of other universities. And basically, what they've done is they've trained the bot in such a way that the assignments are assessed on the basis of the rubrics provided by the teachers. And the rubrics itself are words which the generative AI understands, and expects the assignments to have that level of sophisticated writing. So it assesses your writing style, your vocabulary strength, your ability to present, your ability to communicate your thought process, and it also assesses whether you've done enough research before you communicated in that assignment or not. So the rubrics are designed that way, and if the university is already deploying it, I'm sure they would have done many levels of iteration, and ensured that the bot has been trained well enough. The AI system has been trained well enough. But these are all improvisation processes that every institution goes through. But look at Gyan AI, and maybe have a guest login and try to submit something and ask for assessment feedback report. Then you will be able to, because it tells you that you explained this in this manner, but you could have explained it this better had you done this, or had you incorporated this concept, and so on. So to that extent, it's able to generate in a good text flow, a feedback.
In this point, I also have a same question. Actually, now I'm working in IB school, so they have criterion and everything, but I find students still take from the chat gpt, and they produce their work. But as a librarian, how can I detect? Means it's
There
very
are
difficult. They are very smart, so as a librarian, how can I, for like extended essay and like e-portfolio, this kind of thing very they smartly produce. So is there any like protocol or any tool for detect apart
there
from
are
Turnitin?
quite a few tools. There are quite a few tools available, and I think ask the same GPT for those tools. So you can get those tools to detect plagiarism.
Huh.
And this is a challenge, and many students projects many students have undertaken projects to detect plagiarism, detect computer generated text produced by children. And largely, more than the students, the teachers use chat gpt to develop lecture notes.
Yeah.
The question is whether, today the question to be asked is whether we want to discourage or encourage or be neutral in this. Because at the end of the day, now I would think that, if we use Google Map, what is wrong in it? Our objective is to reach the destination in the shortest time. But what we want to be concerned about is the ability to comprehend, analyze, understand, inquire, the entire research skills, media skills, the inquiry skills, argumentative skills, and the whole idea of questioning. This is what students need to develop at schools. And this is also a skill to get chat gpt to write an essay for you, and to see if that essay is not similar to the essay of my neighbor, my classmate, and fine tune that essay is also a skill. But there is a huge debate about this, and the academic community is worried about it. But there is also this notion that Sugata Mitra and others are saying that leave the children to do things on their own, let them figure it out, let them develop umpteen skills. Don't stereotype them, that don't expect them to just follow your instruction and your instructional design. So there are also these free thinkers today available. But ask chat gpt for the detection tools it could provide to you.
I have one question. First of all, I would like to thank you for this wonderful session. It was really an eye opener for me too. So I was just surprising that just like we are saying a lot of things about digital divide and other things, and how much time technology is taking to reach the grassroots level, even educators or students. So what do you think that as a global expert in this area, how much time it will take to reach, for example, in a rural Indian scenario, how much time it will take to reach the grassroots level educator and even the students? So any idea from your side or from your consortium that you are thinking about to reach out these type of people and areas?
I think it's a question of internet infrastructure. Now there is a big move from the Indian government to have public infrastructure made available. So the whole talk about GPI is something that everyone is talking about. But still, as we speak, only 50% of the world is connected to the internet, to the broadband definition that once upon a time the definition was very small, but with a lot of voluminous data generated, which consume a lot of bytes space. Now we are worried about the bandwidth and the availability of reliable, accessible infrastructure in rural areas. It continues to be a problem. It's a problem to be solved. Now, there are certain attempts undertaken by the government. Now, the entire privatization of telecom, giving it in the hands of from the state provider. Once upon a time, VSNL and BSNL used to be the main providers. Now, you have Airtel and Geo and others taking over. So the entire move was basically to expand access to technology and availability of technology. But unfortunately, the economics forced them to expand access to the urban locales, leaving behind the unserved areas. So the whole USO funding, Universal Service Obligation funding, was initiated, which has been a failure in many countries. Now we need to look at alternative solutions. Now we see that there are solutions for data transfer, cloud storage and data transfers. There are high-end solutions available today. Now, with regard to access to the internet, particularly to the broadband internet, still we are struggling in many parts of the world. But this is something that the governments need to come up with in terms of ensuring that the private sector has the obligation to expand connectivity to rural areas, not just cover, but provide meaningful access to the remote and rural areas. That's one issue to be solved. The second issue to be solved is with regard to generative AI and AI tools and techniques. Largely, this works in the large languages.
Yes.
English language is predominant. Now, also, the content can be biased. Large amount of content available on the internet may be westernized,
Yeah.
maybe something that doesn't relate to our local situations and conditions. So this begs the question: how do we pump in a lot of language data? How do we now create indigenous knowledge and local language data and train our AI systems in Indian languages? That's the second, with regard to content, that's the second issue that we see. And the third issue that we see is, which I mentioned, good data and bad data. There is a possibility that one can pump in billions of dollars to create a narrative which may not be true. So the content that's newly created can well be a twisted content or untruth. So then what would happen? Your AI could deliver untruth as a truthful output, because largely we are going to believe in the future what the AI systems deliver. So garbage in could be garbage out, but we may think that that garbage is not garbage, but something very worthwhile. So there are issues that are coming up, language issues, access issues, issues with regard to good data, bad data, and intentional bad data as well, propaganda mechanisms,
Yeah.
and also convergence, because not everyone has access to computers. Now people want to access through mobile phones, through their televisions, through their various other access devices. How do we converge and cater to these people so that they don't become mere consumers, but because they generate a lot of data, and that data that they generate is largely used only for marketing purposes today, profiling purposes. How do we convert our students who are walking into our schools as producers of good content for tomorrow, so that they could set the global agenda and solve problems of society, is also something facing the schools as a challenge today. If you look at the schools, there are multiple challenges that the librarians and the teachers face, not just teach the subjects, but to produce the future per se.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Ishrat, if you have any question, you can unmute and ask.
No, no, thanks. It was just by mistake. I think
Okay,
the
fine.
questions have been taken up, right?
Okay, fine. So thank you, sir, for answering all those questions, and I hope everybody is clear now. So Titiksha, I think we'll move forward with the vote of thanks.
Okay. I'm sure many facts of AI integration into libraries have been uncovered, and for this, I express my heartfelt thanks to Professor B. Shadrach for gracing us with your presence and sharing his invaluable insight on the profound impact of AI in all fields. Let us carry forward the wisdom shared today and continue to embrace the possibility that AI offers, working collaboratively to shape a future where education and technology seamlessly converge for the betterment of generation to come. I also extend my thanks to the SLA India President Ms. Madhu Bhargava, Secretary Mr. S.L. Faisal, and our librarian friends, whose guidance has made us this event successful and motivating for all of us. Now, I request all participants to stay back as the feedback form for the certificate will be shared only after the felicitation in the chat box. Now, we are moving to our next program, which is proud moment and inspiration for all of us as school librarian. Today, we have Mr. Mujib Rahman KU and Dr. Sarvesh Parikh with us for the felicitation. SLA Professional Excellence Award is given in recognition to those school librarians who have worked hard, excelled, and achieved award at the national level. Now, I invite SLA President Ms. Madhu Bhargava to present the award to Mr. Mujib for being best on with National Award for Teachers to 2023 and SLA Professional Excellence Award 2003. Madhu ma'am, please.
Once again, good evening to all. I'm really taking pride and it's my privilege and pleasure as well to honor people who have gone beyond their job profile. Generally, librarians would be considered people in a traditional manner. Most of the school librarians are doing that only in hundreds and thousands of schools, sitting behind the desks and doing issue and return. But these people whom we are going to just now uh, read a citation for them, they have done wonders. They have gone to the extent of being honored by the government, and not only government, by international agencies like Fulbright. We consider a feather in our crown, SLA crown, that they are with us and all of us are together. So I will just now read citation which SLA has conferred upon Mr. Mujib. I will just read it. Just give me a moment.
Citation, please. Citation.
Yes, I'm just doing it. The School Library Association India is pleased to confer SLA Professional Excellence Award on Mr. Mujib Rahman KU in recognition of his contribution to the profession of school librarianship. He's been instrumental in taking the profession to a higher level through the integration of ICT in the school library, innovations to support teaching and learning, and initiatives to develop the overall personal development of the students. His contributions attributed to the academic excellence of Kendriya Vidyalaya, Kanjikode, Palakkad, Kerala, to a great extent. The school library website and digital library designed by him have been referred to by many people in the academic sphere. His experimentation in various fields like cyber safety, coding, and the like for school community has given a different elevation to the profession of school librarianship. With several awards and honors at different levels, including the prestigious National Teachers Award 2023 and Fulbright Distinguished Awards in Teaching Program for International Teachers for 21-22 to his credit. He has set an exemplary career pathways for school librarians in India. SLA India Professional Excellence Award, comprising of a shawl, a citation, and 10,000 rupees, is being presented to Mr. Mujib Rahman KU, Librarian of Kendriya Vidyalaya, Kanjikode, Palakkad, Kerala, on the second day of December 2023 at online felicitation ceremony organized by the School Library Association, India. Wow. Big
Now
round of applause.
yes. Now I invite Mr. Mujib to say a few words. Mr. Mujib, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Namaskar, sir. Good evening.
Namaskar. Thank you, everyone, for your love and affection and the kind words. Okay. I don't know what to say. This was unexpected. Anyway, say that credit belongs to each and every one of you for your appreciations, your encouragement, your support. Nothing is possible as an individual. It's the result of the collective effort, the support I received from many corners. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward for what can I do back, give back to our profession more, something extra, and nice to have such sessions, latest trends and technologies in library science. SLA will be the support system for all the librarians, school librarians, and I'm sure that many more are there who are in line to receive more recognitions, and they will bring laurels to our profession, school librarians. So happy for every one of you that our profession gets recognized. People think us beyond the caretakers of books. They are taking us into consideration now. They will have to acknowledge our services, the contribution we are giving to the educational system and the society. That way, I'm really happy. And Faisal is there who started this one. Okay, so many more. We expect many more to come forward. Please try. That's only I have to say. Any help required, anytime you feel any way, feel free to get in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I request Madhu ma'am to felicitate Dr. Sarvesh Parikh for receiving the SLA Best School Librarian Award 2023 at Jaipur. Ma'am.
Dr. Sarvesh Parikh, thank you very much for showing up big to everyone, each one of us. And I'm very happy to announce here in our community. It's already known to many people, but in our community, I am announcing that I'm reading his citation. Dr. Sarvesh Parikh, librarian, Bharati Vidya Bhavan, Vidya Ashram, Pratap Nagar, received ASLIP Best School Librarian Award for his extraordinary contribution and outstanding work in the field of library and information science profession. This award is given by Association of Senior Library and Information Professionals on the occasion of ASLIP Conclave 2023 held at JLN Medical College Ajmer on 17th November 2023. Lot of accolades to you, Sarvesh. You have done so much for SLA. All these beautiful images, certificates, anything we see is all created by you. I don't know what do we do. I think this is the best time to say all this when everybody is listening, and we just join our best wishes with other association and wish you many more accolades like this in future.
Now I invite Dr. Service to say a few words.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone, for your kind words. एंड मैं सिर्फ यही कहना चाहता हूं कि हमने जो भी किया वो एसएलए के प्लेटफॉर्म पे ड्यूरिंग द कोविड टाइम हमने फैजल सर ने, नीना ने, दर्शना मैम, मधु मैम, मुजीब सर, इन सब ने मिलके, तितिक्षा जी ने, हम सब ने मिलके लर्न किया और आज हम उसको एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हैं। तो ये मेरा ही अवार्ड नहीं है, मेरी टीम का भी अवार्ड है, मेरे सारे फ्रेंड्स का, मेरी एसएलए टीम का, जो हम सब मिलके रोज आपके लिए कुछ ना कुछ नया प्रोडक्ट लेके आते हैं। थैंक यू एवरीवन।
So nice of you. Thanks. Yeah, congratulations.
Now, all the attendants may fill out the Google form in the chat box. May I request Dr. Shadrach sir to say a few words about the award?
Yes, ma'am.
I request Shadrach sir to say a few words.
Okay.
Was it me that you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Well,
Dr.
I
B.
think
Shadrach sir to say a
no,
few
it's
words. Yes.
it's so commendable to see that as a community that you are encouraging one another, and you have this commitment to supporting each other. So this is phenomenal. And as Miss Bhargava was mentioning, these are the times that we celebrate our successful librarians uh, who become the exemplars. Like Dr. Faisal has become exemplar for many of us. Now, our colleague Mujib Rahman and Sarvesh Parikh and others have equally become exemplars for us to emulate. And we draw a lot of inspiration because some of us are really privileged. We work in systems where we do not face much constraints, much difficulties. But when it comes to school libraries, I know that many of you are or in situations where you are limited in terms of resources that are made available. You multitask, you really out of limited resources, you produce wonders. And during the COVID times, we have seen that the schools were much more agile to the emergency response teaching as compared to the universities, the uh, technology institutions, and vocational institutions, so on. In spite of having the best technologies available, even the IITs and the IIMs failed to deliver, let alone the ITIs and polytechnics and TVET institutions. But the schools continue to provide value-based services to children and provided remote teaching to children. And thanks to the initiatives taken by many librarians who actually develop in many contexts, not just as mere librarians, but also as knowledge managers, IT counselors, and people who bring in new innovation and technological support, technological enabled learning support systems, and so on. So, I commend the school librarians, and more so the ones that that are being recognized today. And I'm sure all the 43 people present here today deserve the same applause as much Mr. Rahman and Mr. Parikh and others deserve. So everyone is a winner. But you all stand as uh, inspiration for us, Mr. Rahman, Mr. Parikh, and I missed out on the third person who was to be awarded. Uh, or be awarding two people or three people today.
Two people,
We
sir.
are awarding two people, sir.
So,
Two people. Yeah.
yeah, Mr. Parikh and Mr. Rahman, and we look up to you. Actually, you are the ones who really do tremendous work out of nothing. So you convert every small um, you know resource into opportunity, and you turn every challenge into opportunity. And thank you so much.
Dr.
Thank you so
Shadrach,
much for your kind words.
yeah,
Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am.
you have less words and more emotions, Dr. Shadrach.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you. Yeah.
Now I invite Mr. S.L. Fazal, General Secretary SLA, to extend his vote of thanks and formally conclude today's event.
So I feel just like ma'am said, it's a great moment for SLA India that we have been witnessing where two great librarians, librarians of the country are being felicitated, along with a great personality where we learned so much thing and always an admirer of school libraries around the country and around the globe. So, Professor Shadrach, we are very much grateful to you for delivering this excellent presentation and coming over here and inspiring us a lot. So we are eager to listen more from you regarding a lot of things, and we are sure SLA India is sure about that we will be in collaboration with you to extend our reach and to do wonderful things in the country. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Madhu Bhargava ma'am, always an inspiration for SLA India. The team India is on your shoulders, and we are just getting beautiful ideas and a lot of inspiration from you. Thanks a lot for being here and inspiring all of us and leading the team. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Mujib Rahman, my dear friend, it's a great feeling for me also that
Yes.
in 21 I received the National Teachers Award, and within 2 years, my friend, my dearest friend Mujib Rahman got the same award. In
Yeah.
between, he went to US for the Fulbright scholarship, and exemplary, just like he said in his article on SLA newsletter, that it's a life-changing experience for him and for us also, because now we feel that we can achieve more things, and each and every school librarian from this country can acquire a lot of things, and there is no limit for us. These are such wonderful examples set by Mujib Rahman. So, my dear friend, thanks a lot on behalf of SLA India and the SLA GB and all SLA family. I would like to put my thanks to you for coming over here and receiving the SLA Professional Excellence Award. Thank you and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Faisal. Thank you all. That's my pleasure, a privilege.
We are proud of you.
Yeah, very proud of you.
I'm proud of SLA. We are doing so many things together, and
Yeah.
I'm sure many more will come. Many more will add
Yes.
knowledge to our
Yes.
profession.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And my dear friend, Dr. Sarvesh Parikh, always a beacon for inspiration and a lot of creative ideas. And he has been there from the beginning as as a GB member of SLA India, and doing wonderful things during this Corona COVID times and before that also. Still, if you visit his website, you can see new things, new ideas coming over there, and a lot of librarians around the country because he is heading a system of schools that is Balbharati. Am I right, Sarvesh?
Bharti Vidya
Yeah,
Bhavan.
Bharati Vidya.
Bharati Vidya Bhavan system. Hundreds of schools are there in the country. So, and he is one of the most valued librarian, school librarian in that system and among SLA India also. So, thanks a lot for coming over here and receiving our felicitations. And on behalf of SLA India, we would like to once again congratulate you for achieving this
Thank you, sir.
award. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And media team, events team, convener Darshana, Kidiksha, Nina Girish, Sarvesh, Shafi, Das, and a number of people, those who run this program and continuously going to find out new ways to revitalize SLA India team. And thanks a lot for your hard work and doing all these wonderful things for SLA India. And SLA family, I'm sure that many are there and many were witnessing this session on YouTube also. And the YouTube, this session will be available on our YouTube channel. And I'm sure that many people in future also will watch this video and inspire. And thanks a lot for the entire SLA team and SLA family and those who are watching this session online. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Just one message regarding the book grant that was in the beginning. If you want to know more details about it, it is published in our website, SLA website. So you may check and share it with the schools that is really in need of this. Thank you so much.